All right, Timex and Off-Road Magazine here with Zach Lewis. So Zach, tell us a bit about what you've been up to so far this year.
Well, it's been a lot of training at school and at home. Done a lot of cycling, a lot of fitness, some biometrics, fitness workouts. I'm trying to get a lot more into that whole aspect of it. I've always been into racing and riding, but I'm at the point now where fitness is kind of holding me back. So I've been riding a lot of GNCCs to get some time on the bike and ride some different terrain and really kind of put my fitness to the test and trying to put talent and hard work together.
And how this GNCC's been for you this year?
They've been really tough. The Florida one was probably the hardest one I think this year. It was very physically demanding, and that's when I knew I had to really focus on my fitness. Over the winter I have been getting a lot better, but since then, since mid-March, I've been working a lot at it. It's gotten a lot better. The Georgia GNCC was really muddy, and that was a whole another realm of tough. It's as hard as racing gets, really, that kind of stuff. Indiana went well for me. I was able to get a top 10 finish in the 450 A lights, or the 4-stroke A lights class, and yeah, the bike's been working good. I think it's more up my alley type thing, and I noticed with the GNCC racing, it's pretty technical, and I just the Scott stuff's so light, it's breathing, and that 350 stuff works really well, and it helps keep me cool while I'm riding.
Yeah, and so the switch over to the 4-stroke for this year has been a good one for you?
Yeah, there's ups and downs. The 2-stroke's a little easier, I think, to change direction, more point to point. The 4-stroke's like to follow the corners a little bit better, but I'm really impressed the way this bike handles. I had a 4-stroke a few years ago, and I made the transition to a 2-stroke, and the 2-stroke was working well, but no, I'm really impressed. The 6 gears on the FX, the electric start, the way the whole gas tank, mass centralization, focus kind of engineering that's behind it's been working really well for me. I think I'm a lot faster because of it, or at least more confident and smooth because of it, so I think it's working well.
Yeah, and you feel good on it, considering it's a first-year bike and everything?
Yeah, I think they really hit the nail on the head. I rode the 250F last year at a few motocross events, and I was really impressed with the corner. That's what really stood the bike away from the others. The 2-stroke, it was a little twitchy in the corners, and it was kind of tough to stay in a line, but the 4-stroke works really well. I think the way the bike makes the power, I had to get used to it again, and that's why riding in Florida really helped me out, because I was so used to riding a 2-stroke. And I think for the first year bike, the FX, they did an awesome job. It's a little bit heavier, but I honestly don't notice it all that much. It might take a little more effort to turn, but it's so smooth, and it's just the power delivery is really nice on it. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, and do you plan on doing any more GNCCs this year, or are you going to move your focus up to Canada?
Well, I plan on doing the New York GNCC, the Tomahawk and Odessa there. I think that's the GNCCs are really good because they prepare me well for the cross-country series. It's really tough, and there's a lot of guys down there who are a lot faster than I am, so it's nice to ride with guys who have that much talent. And I like the 4-stroke lights class because I'm riding with guys on similar bikes as me, so I can pick up some of their techniques. And yeah, I think that stuff, I'm going to start focusing on the Canadian series once the cross countries start up at the Goulburn here scramble. But yeah, I like doing those American rounds. I'm going to do 4 before the start of the year, and I'm feeling a lot better because of them. 3 hours is a long race, and ours are only 2.5, so I'm trying to train for those longer rides, so at the end I can really push. And they're tough. That separates the men from the boys. So that's what I do.
Have you noticed a difference over the 3 that you've done so far, like in your fitness, as you've gotten better over the time?
The Palatka, Florida round, I was beat. That wild boar, it was really tough, and I went the 1.5 hour mark. I had to really start pacing myself. And normally I don't have to. Normally I can kind of go, but that one was one of the toughest. It's just Florida sand whoops for 3 hours. And then Georgia was a bit better. Georgia was tough because of mud, and I got a flat tire, and we were able to change it quickly, and I dropped a few positions. But I was happy because I was actually able to push myself, and I was riding a little bit better than I thought I could, and I was having a lot of fun near the end. And then in Indiana, I was really able to charge. My last lap was my second fastest, other than my first lap. So I caught up 4 positions. So it's showing the results. I feel a lot better in them, and that's why in New York I really hope to go out and try and get a top 5. And yeah, my fitness has come a long way.
And so, what are your expectations then for the Ontario cross countries?
Really, I just want to be able to push right from the start. Normally, it takes me about a lap to kind of get a feel for the track, get into the bike, get into riding, and I'm focusing a lot on my warm up and how I'm preparing right before the race so that I'm ready to charge right off the, drop the flag. So my focus is to just put all my talent and all my fitness into 2.5 hour block of pure exertion. Because sometimes after the race I might not feel as tired as I want to be, because I want to use everything I've got in the race. So I'm really trying to focus on putting all I've got right from the start to the end. Just the bike, I think, is working with me. I think it takes a little bit less energy to ride. I can kind of calm down a bit on it, so my fitness is kind of on reserve. So I'm just really going to try and focus on pushing the limit a lot more. And that's what the GNCCs are teaching me, how to ride aggressive with those guys and pick new lines, and just it's kind of a new world of racing. Go out there with kind of a game face on.
And has it helped you? Have you had to make any changes to the bike that you didn't think you would after the GNCCs? Or?
Not really. Of course, everyone does suspension, and that's kind of a necessity at the pro level. Other than suspension, all I've done is put on a more woods-friendly exhaust and just some protection components. My engineering, stuff, my disc guard, my bark busters, all that stuff is just for protection. And the motor, I think, puts out more power than I need. It's all tunable with the Yamaha power tuner, so I can tailor it just the way I want it. Other than that, it's all stock.
And so, aside from the bike, what other kind of gear have you got that you're using for this year?
Well, I'm using a lot of the Scott stuff. I love I notice when I'm using my helmet camera, the Scott goggles give me a wide view, and it doesn't bother me so much when I've got the camera right below my visor. Then yeah, the goggles work awesome. Other gear, I just train well, and I just use the right equipment, and it all comes together.
And so you've got obviously you're on Yamaha and you're using Scott gear. Have you got any other companies helping you out this year?
Yeah, I've got AME grips. I've got them on here. They've got more of a triangle. It's kind of like a pillow top pattern on them, and the way I ride, I'm really aggressive on my hands, so those actually really help me a lot. And I probably couldn't be able to ride very much without them, because other grips I find tear my hands apart. So those guys, they did me a big favor. They're helping me out. And then I've got Hudson Henderson Insurance. They're helping me out this year, and it's good to get support from some of those companies, that are willing to sponsor riders like me, kind of, trying to make their way up the ladder. And yeah, Scott and Tebow Importations, they're all helping me out, and my mom and my dad and all my friends and fans, the support goes a long way.
All right. Well, thanks for your time today, Zach. Had a great time out there shooting some videos and taking some photos with you. So good luck this season, and all the best.
Thank you.